Hello and welcome to AutoCAD 101. For this video, I'll be talking about the rectangle command. The rectangle command, as you might suspect, draws rectangles. To find the rectangle command, go to the draw box, and up here in the corner, you will find the rectangle button. Now you may say that it has a pull down. That gives you the option to switch between the rectangle or the polygon command. So, if you prefer the keyboard shortcut, type in REC, and that brings up rectangle. Select the first point, and select the second point. Now, I can pick a second point or type in how large I want the rectangle. I can type in 5, 5, and that'll give me a rectangle 5 units wide by 5 units tall. It essentially is like drawing a line from the first point to the second point, but it draws a rectangle. So next in the rectangle command, let's look at the chamfer option. Now when I click the chamfer option, it says specify the first chamfer distance for rectangles. So let's try something like 0.25. And now it says select the second distance for rectangles. Let's do 0.25 again. Or you can see by default, it'll try to put in the same number over again. If you don't want to type it over again, or if you don't want a different number, you can just hit enter. And then we specify the first corner and the second corner. And you can see it's created chamfers on each of these corners, which the dimensions are going to be 0.25 and 0.25. If we enter either of these different number, this angle will be different. If you enter a larger number for the second option, for the second choice, it will create a steeper slope. And essentially this dimension from here, where the corner would be, to where the corner is a greater distance. So next, let's try the fillet command. And it automatically pulls in the same numbers as the chamfer command did, so let's just use that. And you can see it has put a radius or a fillet on these corners. And the radius of this fillet is going to be 0.25. Now we also have a few other options: elevation, thickness, and width. Width works the same way that the width command does for polyline. It just creates a thicker line. And you'll notice that once I enter in one of these fillet or chamfer, it maintains those settings each time I use rectangle. So let's create another rectangle. Change the width setting back to 0, which is the default. Change the fillet setting back to 0, which is the default. And now it should draw a regular rectangle again. So now what does elevation do? Let's look at elevation and thickness together. The first elevation, I'm going to do, say, 10. And then thickness, let's do 5. Then I just pick my points, and I don't see any difference. Well, we're looking at this in a two-dimensional view. Elevation and thickness actually make three-dimensional changes to the rectangle command. So if we highlight this, and then let's turn to the side, you see it's actually made a cube shape. Let's change our view style, our visual style, to conceptual. And you can see this actually made a box, and it's going to be 5 units high, which is the thickness, and it's going to be elevated 10 inches off of the 0 plane, the XY plane, which is 0Z. Elevation relates to the Z dimension. So if we look at the front view, we can see that from here to here is 10 inches. And then from here to here, which is the thickness, is 5 inches. So we probably won't use that much, but it's good to know that it's an option. So then if we go one more time into the rectangle command, we can see that those elevation and thickness settings are still set. We have to change those back to 0. And now we can again create just a regular 2D polyline with an elevation of 0. And of course, you want to take your view style back to 2D wireframe. That's it for the rectangle command. Thanks for watching, and good luck.